First up, Hunt for the Wilderpeople. Ew. This is a 2016 movie directed by Taika Waititi, starring Sam Neill with that great beard there, and then the kid from Deadpool 2. So I've been hearing good things about this movie for years, since 2016, and so I went in with pretty high expectations, but I was still blown away by how much I freaking loved this movie. It's so good. Oh my god. And I was just amazed at like how quickly I cared about the characters. It was just like we see them right away and I'm like, "Oh, okay, all right, there's some people." And then within a few minutes I'm just like completely invested in their lives and everything that is about them. It was and it's just like it's such a great wholesome adventure, and it's so funny. It just oh god, I was blown away by everything. Taika Waititi just like knocked it out of the park. If I like watch this movie, 100% watch this movie. But if I was going to complain about anything, it'd be two things. One, so they spend a lot of time where the characters spend a lot of time where they wouldn't have access to getting their haircut, kind of like right now. But like his beard is like perfectly trimmed like the entire time, and his hair doesn't really grow at all. So that's but that's just a movie thing. They never grow their hair out or let it go wild unless it's what's the movie with Tom Hanks was on the island? Castaway. This is Castaway. Then they let it happen because that was 4 years. So obviously his beard would have grown a little bit. Anyway, and then my like other complaint would be so like a big emotional thing happens early on, and it's kind of undercut a little bit with a joke pretty close after. And I just wish there would have been more time in between like that really sad thing, because that really took me back, the sad thing that happened, and then the joke that quickly followed. But even still, that's just more me nitpicking. This movie's wonderful. I know I didn't just, I'm not the first person to ever discover this movie, but if you've never seen Hunt for the Wilderpeople, watch it. It's so damn good. And it's filmed entirely in New Zealand. So it's really, you see the New Zealand prettiness. Okay, I'm done with this one now. It's so good, it's so good. Now on to Dog City. This is a 1998 noir sci-fi. Even saying sci-fi is kind of spoilery, but really you need to know that it's sci-fi to kind of get this movie. But it stars Rufus Sewell, Keith Sutherland, Jennifer Connelly, and William Hurt. So it's a classic sci-fi movie. I actually watched it for the first time back in high school, around the same time I watched 12 Monkeys for the first time. And coincidentally, like I call that movie like kind of dreamlike, especially like running in slow-mo dream stuff. This movie is 100% a dream. It's just like something like you're just like, mind's going one way, all right, we're in this scenario, and then something weird happens, and you just like have to roll with it and accept it, and now you're just going this way now. It's crazy, and it's a big classic sci-fi, like, cult classic thing, I guess. It's solid. It's decent. Yeah, it's really just a big mystery, and like it's something else. You just don't know where it's going, and it's crazy. I mean, if you figure it out, if you do watch it though, make sure to watch the director's cut, because the theatrical cut, they have this big opening monologue that explains a lot of the mystery stuff, and just like that kind of ruins the experience. So definitely watch the director's cut. I think that's what this is for. Yeah, it's solid. It's weird, crazy, interesting. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about it. It's a classic. It's a classic. And finally, Nancy Drew and the Hidden Staircase. Why did I watch this movie? That's a good question, meme. And it's because of her, Sophia Sillis. Sure, I don't know if it's how you say her last name. But I watched her in I Am Not Okay With This on Netflix, and that show is amazing. You should definitely watch that show. And it really has to do with her character, with her, the actress, because she just nails like the whole like angsty teenager, like I'm gonna say something stupid and then immediately regret it and then like yell at myself for saying the really stupid thing. And she's just hilarious and funny. Definitely watch I'm Not Okay With It. And it's a quick watch too, because the episodes are only like 20 to 30 minutes long. There's like 7 of them, and it's really good. It also has freaking there's his name's Wyatt Olaf. He's also in it, and he's also in I'm Not Okay With This, and he's hilarious in that. He's so talented. I'm excited to see more things with him too. But I should talk about this movie. So I was 100% expecting this to be like a garbage trash fire thing, and it should be awful, and kind of hate myself for after watching it. Dude, I was amazed at how not awful this movie is. It's not good by any means, but it's not awful. it really has like the bones of a good movie. I don't know exactly what went wrong, if it was like the original script or if it was the director or the editing or what exactly it was that kind of screwed this movie over. But like, it's not bad. And really, a large part of it has to do with her, Sophia. She just has a lot of charm and charisma that really elevates stuff. And there's like a lot of bad jokes in there, but like she, her just like natural whatever is just elevates them. Like that's very clearly a bad joke, but her delivery of it definitely made it enjoyable, passable. And the weird thing is, I think like the best joke in this movie was a complete accident. It was like her holding a piece of pie and then it falls off her thing, and it was I laughed for so long. I like the beginning of the movie is definitely the weakest. There's like some stupid revenge prank thing that she pulls, and it's really cringy. And there's a lot of skateboarding stuff for some reason, because apparently it's 1998. But then like once the actual mystery starts, it's legit good and interesting. And I was like, oh, really invested in the mystery. I was like, oh, I wonder what it's gonna be. And then like I stopped for a second. And I was like, oh yeah, duh, it's gonna be this, this, and this, and this, because they set it all up, and it was, but it was still an interesting mystery. And I was surprised by one big twist that happened at the end of the movie that had to do with the mystery. But I could have just been surprised because they didn't actually set it up at all. Though they could have. If I ever rewatch it, I'll look out for it the next time. It also has Laura Wiggins in it, who was in Shameless as Karen, and she was great in that. And she's actually pretty solid in this, though. Her being in this, she plays a high schooler, and that's weird because she was born in '88, and she was born in 2002. So there's a 14-year age difference between like the two friends. And like when it's just kind of them by themselves, you can kind of forgive it that like one of these people is in their 30s and one of them is an actual teenager. But then like once her other friends, who are just awful, I hate her other friends, are there too, who are also, I think, actual teenagers. It's like, oh, clearly there's 3 teenagers and then 1 adult in the group. And it's like, well, this is awkward. I don't like this. But again, like Laura Wiggins does great. Also, there's an old lady in this who's pretty damn funny. Yeah, so it wasn't that bad. I'm kind of amazed at how high I put it on my ranking, but yeah, it was. I don't regret watching that. I do not regret that. I doubt they're going to make any more of these because I don't think they made money, but still, wasn't bad.